Yes, lads, welcome back to the Sorare Under 23 Road to Glory. The running order for today's episode is as follows. We're going to recap last week's game week. We're then going to do some scouting for an under 23 defender that we think's underpriced that we can use for this upcoming game week. And then lastly, we're going to build lineups for the upcoming game week and get our hands on a reward. If you enjoy the series, please do leave it a like, and if you are new around here, please do consider subscribing. Over the last couple of days, we've seen the French first and second division cards released on Sorare finally, and we also have Serie A cards as well. Whilst I was scrolling through the auctions, I noticed that Kvashvili's new card is actually positioned as a forward. And coincidentally, he scored 100 last night. I think he would have scored 100 regardless of him being a forward or a midfielder. But his new card is now a forward. But if you are completely new to Sorare and you haven't yet signed up and are looking to do so, there's a link in the description of this video that will get you one free limited card once you've purchased your first 5 cards from the new auctions over on Sorare. That is the intro out of the way, lads. Let's get into episode 8. Okay, where do we start? Do we start on the positive notes? Do we start on the negative notes? Because there is definitely more negative than positive. Let's start off with the man of the moment, Kuhaib Driouech. I threatened to captain him. I was convinced not to after the video went live last week. And it cost us, lads. I mean, it didn't cost us. We still wouldn't have won a reward. We were 58 points away from a tier 5, scoring just under 268 points. Driouech as the standout, lads. 1 goal, 1 assist against his ex-club Heerenveen. I didn't even realize he used to play for them. And I'm somebody that loves playing a card that he used to play for the other team, if that makes sense. And my theory was proved right here. 1 goal, 1 assist, just under 14 AA. Scored 92 with his bonus. But unfortunately, the rest of the lads could not follow suit. Monchu on his debut with a 17 AA, 2 interceptions, a whole load of passes, but nothing too much to shout about there. Mohamed Cham's Clermont Foot lost to Le Havre 2-1. 2 shots on target. No big chances missed this time. No penalties missed. But again, just not good enough, lads. And then Jasper Darland as our captain let us down big time. I didn't think Cercle Bruges were going to win this game, to be honest. But I didn't expect them to lose 2-0. And yeah, obviously that is big points lost on those goals conceded. 4 duels won, 4 duels lost, 1 interception. He did create a big chance. So it looks like we were close to getting an assist from Darland, but it wasn't to be. And then unfortunately, Campos conceded 3 goals for the first time this season. A good AA score, just under 17 AA, but they did lose 3-1 to Villarreal's second team. And yeah, unfortunately, lads, we've blanked again. It was a little bit annoying because our other defender, Matthias Rieu, actually DMP'd this midweek, right? He didn't play against Bordeaux, but the game before that, which was the game week that we're looking at here, he did play and he scored 61. So I definitely got my defender choice wrong. Never mind my captain choice in picking Darland over Matthias Rieu. Larson scored against Barcelona. He scored 71, his highest score all season. I said it was one of the worst matchups we could have had for him. And it turns out it was actually the best matchup. He scored the highest score so far this season. So that was just not ideal. Even though Driouech outscored him, you know, I could have played him instead of one of my midfielders, either Cham or Monchu. And it, you know, if I would have played Larson instead of Cham and then Matthias Rieu instead of Darland, I think we would have just about scraped a reward. But of course, it's all if, buts and maybes. And it wasn't to be. We got our pickings wrong yet again. And unfortunately, we have to just pick ourselves back up, lads, and just go at it again. You know, this is the brutal reality of Sorare for many users. You just don't win every week. You hardly win. It's hard. It's a really tough game. It really is. I can't reiterate that enough. But I know it's going to be so sweet when we finally get our first reward. If you don't know how this series works, lads, I am giving away every reward this series wins. So if I would have won a reward last weekend, I would have given that away in this video to one of you guys. I just want to add in, I did get some good suggestions in the comments from this guy here about Robin Roofs. He's become the number 1 because Jasper Cillessen is injured right now for NEC in the Dutch league. I think he's like £10. I'm on the pick scores here for this upcoming weekend. He is at home to Vitesse this weekend, and his his floor price is £8.68. So for a starting goalkeeper under 23, that's pretty good. I don't know how long Sillessen's injured for. Sillessen is clearly the number 1, but he did come off with a hamstring injury on the weekend. So yeah, Robin Roofs is in for the foreseeable. If he does a really good job, who knows? He might get the job permanently. But we are in the market for an under 23 defender for this weekend, lads. As we know, I only have 2 defenders right now. I have Matthias Rieu and I have Jasper Darland. So we have 11 players in the gallery right now. I think we have, what do we have? 13. Yeah, we have £13.55 to spend. Obviously, we spent £3 odd on Monchu last weekend, which gives us a balance of £13. I don't really want to spend it all on one defender. So we're going to look at what we can get for around, £3 or £4, maybe even less, hopefully. Melle Mullenstein, £6.55. Doesn't seem terrible, but his last 5 games have been not great, specifically the last 2. The 2 before that were actually really good. But Vitesse are on a bit of a rubbish streak as far as results go right now, and that's not great as a defender card. Moving on swiftly, £2.81 for Pletinik, who I'm aware of. He's been around for years, to be fair, and has always scored pretty well. You look at that graph there, it's not terrible. For £2 odd, really isn't bad at all. So he is definitely somebody to take into consideration, I think, as a cheap under 23 defender this weekend. Lacroix, £5.74, not £2.94 for Gazabegovic. I know he plays for the Bosnian team, doesn't he? L5 isn't great. Look at that. They're just the swings you're going to get. I mean, that one's against Sporting, to be fair, and that's against Salzburg. But, for wing backs, right backs, left backs, the swings in their scores, the variance is super high. Like, if they're playing against a really good team and they concede a couple of goals, then that's where you'd see this type of player in the negative AA scores, But it can be really positive for them, and, their scores could really peak in good fixtures, if that makes sense. £1.47 for Bayumin Balki. I actually own this card in super rare form, so I am familiar with him. I didn't realize he was that cheap as a limited, though. They play 19th in the league next game as well. £1.47. His scores since the start of the season, so he started off in game week 397, as you can see here. Didn't really do too well. They lost 1-0. But other than that, 31 AA, 28 AA, 20 AA, 17, and then this weekend, 4.68 in a 2-0 win, which is obviously not good at all. Yellow card, foul. How many duels lost? 2 duels lost. Just didn't really do much, to be fair. Didn't really get on the ball. 1 attempted assist. Yeah, that is a pretty bad score, to be honest. But the rest are pretty consistent, so I'm hoping that is just a blip. And with 3 home games out of the next 5, albeit against, tougher opposition, I would fancy him to do pretty well. And for £1.47, we might have to do it. As a bit of cover, it gives us then 3 defenders to choose from. I did mention Mateus Riu. For some reason, DMP'd this midweek, even though we didn't use him, obviously. Yeah, so that was weird. The floor price right now is £1.47, and we have an 8.5 XP card. I'm not sure when Turkish cards are coming out, but at some point I'm sure they will. This seems like our best bet right now, lads, just to buy this outright. And so there we have it, lads. We've made our purchase, £1.47 for Bayumin Balki. Plays this weekend away from home. It's a AA fixture. 46% clean sheet probabilities against 19th in the league. I feel like that can help us. I definitely feel like he can become a decent addition into the gallery. So if we filter by defenders, it shows Ryu, Balki, and Darland all next to each other. Like I said, Ryu, for some reason, DMP'd on this midweek, and I'm really not sure why. I'm not sure if Play Sharper have updated the Green Camp. No, they haven't yet. So I'm waiting on his news and what's happened with him, because he wasn't even in the squad, which is really, really weird. He's played every game so far this season. He might have felt ill, whatever it is. But yeah, he didn't play, and that is obviously worrying. And that, means he's going to be a risk for this weekend, naturally. And that's kind of why, we've brought in Balki. £1.46. We haven't really laid out too much in that sense, have we? Of our budget, basically 10%. And yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be a good addition. So heading over to the lineup builder on Sorare Data. We're going to build our lineup for this upcoming weekend. We only ever have 1 goalkeeper right now. I love the Robin Roof's suggestion, but do I really need to spend £10 on another goalkeeper that I'm not even going to use this weekend, albeit, because Campos has a great home fixture, which I'm expecting him again to get a clean sheet. AA fixture on Sorare Data, which is ideal. It's not AAA, but AA is good enough. Then we've got Balki and Darland right now. We know we can, pick from. We don't know what's going on with Mateus Riu. I am tempted to go. I mean, they're both good fixtures. Both away from home. Circle Bruges are away to Kortrijk. Balki's Alanyaspor are away to Istanbulspor. They're both playing relatively bad teams. So, for now, I'm going to go with Balki. But that could change. I might go double defender, seeing as though right now our midfielders are looking pretty bleak. We don't know what's going on with Madsen at Westerlo. Suzuki, I think, came off the bench on the weekend. But again, we can't expect him to really start for Bromby. And then Cham obviously played, but they're playing PSG, which isn't a good fixture. Monchu, on the other hand, does seem like he has a good fixture. I did see, though, on Play Sharper, Monchu is sort of nailed here, but I did also see on Twitter and over here that he's questionable. Yeah, basically, he didn't train yesterday, is the latest news. Looking down in the comments here, if we can see anything, it does say, yeah, the Monchu trained on the sidelines on Wednesday. Today is Thursday, so I'm not sure if anything's changed. Nothing's been updated. So I will have to dig in deeper to that sort of scenario. But for now, we're going to play him. He's a AA fixture if he does start at home. I like to see it. Drioech is at home to Sparta Rotterdam, who actually are a decent team. Excelsior 7th, Sparta 5th. Not going to be an easy game for Drioech, but he is on fire right now. Equally, a decent game for Jorgen Larsson, away to Las Palmas, 18th versus 17th in the league. I can't drop Drioech. Like, he's been way too good for me, since coming into the gallery, albeit, started off injured for a little bit, but since then, it's been pretty good. Larsson got a goal last week, so, they both got goals last weekend, to be fair. We could potentially go double forward here. Even though Celta Vigo are away from home, I still think it's a good fixture for Larsson. And Drioech right now is on fire. I can't really drop him in that sense. So, basically it's out of Darland and Larsson for that extra position. If I go with Larsson and go double forward, I'm obviously relying heavily on, two of my guys to get decisives, right? If I go Darland, I'm more relying on his AA game, to get me to that sort of 60 to 70 point mark. Obviously, above that would be great. I think Darland's the safer option. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I guess you're going to say that Darland's probably the safer option, but maybe Larsson has a higher peak potentially, seen as though, he could get multiple DAs potentially against a lower ranked team. For now, I'm going to go with Darland, though. Let me know if you would change anything. I might captain Monchu for this game. That gives us a 66 lineup strength score. Doesn't seem terrible. If I have to change things up until the deadline, then I will. But for now, I think that's the team I'm going to rock. We're going to go into Sorare and input this team into under 23 limited. Campos, Balki for his debut, Monchu, Drioech, and for now we're going to go with Jesper Darland and we're going to captain Monchu. Hopefully Monchu is fit, and even though he didn't train yesterday, and yeah, that can be, our team going into this upcoming weekend. I'm praying I can win you guys a reward, lads, honestly. Like, I'm not really winning any rewards, in the higher scarcities right now. My full focus is honestly trying to win a reward in this. So leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this episode. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. I wish you all the best for this upcoming game week. Hope you have a great day, and I shall see you in the next video.